Welcome to today's live. Today we are going to be doing a mobility class. I am Victoria Sharp and I'm really excited for you to be on. We are going to be focusing on our spine today. That has been a huge request in the last little while. I'm just going to apologize for the sounds in the background. We are doing some construction in our place. So this is a really great class that you can do throughout the day, and it's really proven to incorporate spine mobility in your day. If you can do like 3 to 5 minutes each day, that's so helpful for the health of your spine and then in turn the rest of your body. So let's get those spines moving. We are going to start by being on our hands and knees in a tabletop position. Quadruped, so find your knees underneath your hips and your hands underneath your shoulders. Toes can be tucked under or pointed, it doesn't really matter to me. Starting our focus at the base of our spine or at the bottom of our spine, let's do some cat-cows. As we inhale, start to lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling and let the belly come towards the floor. Think about the chest, the sternum pulling forward, and then gently take your gaze towards the front. From here, we're going to reverse this action by tucking the tailbone and rolling through the spine. So now we're pressing our spine up towards the ceiling and tuck your chin. So these are our cat-cows. Let's be a bit more specific now. As we inhale, roll through each vertebrae, nice and slow. Let the belly drop. Pull the chest forward and look forward. Can you segment each vertebrae, move on its own? Tuck the tailbone and roll through the spine until you tuck your chin. Let's do one more just like this. Let the tailbone lift, slowly roll through your spine. Pull the sternum through and take the gaze forward. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone, press the earth away, pull the belly away from the earth, and come into your cat pose. Wonderful job. Coming into a neutral spine now. Keep your hips elevated over top of your knees and come down onto your elbows. We are going to interlace our fingers and create a little base at the bottom for your pinky fingers to come onto the floor. So elbows come down underneath the shoulders, interlace the fingers. We have a nice spot now to tuck our chin and place the back of our head into our hands. As you do this, the crown of your head will press into the floor. And if you feel that there's some sinking in the upper back, I want you to concentrate on pushing the upper back up towards the ceiling so that you're locking the upper half of your back in position. Now we're going to do those cat-cows, focusing mostly on the low back here. So we want the upper back to not move. So as you inhale, can you lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling and let the belly drop as much as you can? On the exhale, tuck the tailbone, pulling the pubic bone towards your nose. Let's keep going back and forth. So inhale, lift the tailbone up, let the sit bones go wide. Exhale, tuck the tailbone and try to pull it down. Inhale, lift the sits bones up. And exhale, tuck it under. Let's see if we can do 3 more. I find this so hard. Keep pushing the forearms down into the floor. Inhale, lift the tailbone. Exhale, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, lift the tailbone. Feel your lower abdominals really working. Exhale, draw the pelvic floor in. Pull the belly in. One more time. Inhale, lift the tailbone. And exhale, drop the tailbone. Amazing job. Come down. If you didn't feel a lot of movement in that, it's very normal, especially if that's the first time you've done it. But we're trying to really get the pelvis to do that tilting action without using the upper back. So really segmenting just the lower part of our back. Let's come down onto our back now. Place your feet down underneath your knees. When you first arrive here, notice how your spine feels when you're lying down. So do you feel quite a big arch in the low back, or do you feel like your hips want to lift up off the floor? Do your best to find your neutral. We'll all be a little bit different, so whatever feels like you can, or however you can be making your spine nice and long. With your hands down by your hips, drive the heels down and begin to tuck the tailbone under, lifting your hips just lift off the floor a tiny little bit, like 1 inch, not even. As you do this, you might feel the low part of your back press into the floor. Feel the glutes really fire up. You have this scooping action in the lower part of your back. And then exhale, drop it down. So we're just doing the pelvic tilt under. So pressing down with your feet, pressing down with your hands. Use your pelvic floor and your pubic bone is pulling up towards your rib cage or towards your nose. Feel that under tuck. And then exhale, drop it down. Relax. Let's do one more just like that. So we're just concentrating on this action of pressing down, letting the sits bones or the backs of the hips get nice and light, and you can still feel the rest of your spine really, really long. And exhale, relax it down. Now let's do the opposite. So we're going to allow our lumbar to lift up off the floor so you can get a little bit of an arch here. Press the sits bones down into the floor and then relax it down. Can you keep your shoulders still down on the floor? So we press the sits bones and feel the low back peel away from the floor. Keep hugging the low belly in and then relax down. And one more time, lift or press the sits bones down, sorry. Let the lumbar move so that you have that arch in the low back and relax it down. Keeping your knees over top of your hips, lift your feet up off the floor and squeeze your legs together. Then take the toes back down towards the floor. And just the big toes are going to touch down towards the floor. Arms can go out towards the side, palms up or palms down, doesn't matter. Keep as neutral of the spine as you can now. So we experience both ways of tilting our pelvis. Now I want you to keep that neutral spine and start to drop your knees over towards one side. Let the hip lift up, but keep your shoulders down on the floor. So you can feel this rotation happening in the lower back. Squeeze your legs together and then lift the knees back up. We're trying not to arch, we're trying not to tuck, we're just keeping neutral spine and drop the knees over. So just focusing on the rotation of the lumbar, of the low back in our twist. And lift the knees up. Let's go the same direction, or the first direction again. Squeeze the legs together. Feel your breath as you can feel this movement in the low back. Keep squeezing the inner thighs, come up, and then drop your knees the other way. And come all the way back up. Let's go each way again. I'm just going to turn so you can get a different view here. Thighs together, drop the knees over. Keep the toes touching down, pull the belly in. Keep shoulders down and lift the knees back up. And drop the knees over the other way. Keep the toes down. Keep reaching through the top knee. Keep the shoulders down. Squeeze the legs together. And come all the way back up. Awesome. Let's come back onto our hands and knees and just try a cat-cow to see how the spine is feeling now. On those hands and knees, lift the tailbone up. Ripple through each vertebrae. Pull the chest through. And exhale, tuck the tailbone and round up. See if you find a little more freedom of movement in the low back. Inhale into your cat-cow, or into your cow, and exhale into your cat. One more time. Inhale into your cow pose, and exhale into your cat pose. And inhale into a neutral spine. Well, that's it for today, everyone. Thanks so much for coming on and learning a little bit of movement for that low back. If you want this sent to your inbox, don't forget to join my VIP list, and I will have it sent your way this week. Thanks so much, and please send me any DMs with what you would like to see in the future for these little IG lives. Have a great day.